Today, I'm going to teach you guys about what did the government do to fix the Great Depression. I have 5 questions regarding this topic. What did the government do to get us out of the Great Depression? 2. What were some of the different lifestyles during the Great Depression? 3. What was the government's role during the Great Depression? 4. What did Hoover do to try to end the Depression? 5. How could the Great Depression been prevented? The answer to my first question is simply this. What really got us out of the Great Depression was the pent-up demand in consumer goods that ended as men and women came home from the war. Also, the war is never good, and the New Deal was not the ending of the Great Depression. Although it might have kept us from going into communism or taking other routes, some of the European countries took to deal with their economies. The next question I had was, what were some of the different lifestyles during the Depression? Well, there were no two people that had the same understanding of the Depression. Everyone felt challenged and changed by the experience. By 1932, after the initial crash, nearly 30 million Americans had lost their source of income, unemployment, or a loss of their family. This included more than a quarter of the population of Washington State alone. My next question saying, what was the government's role during the Depression? During the 1930s, the federal government became more involved in the daily lives of its citizens than ever before. FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt, admitted that if one of his pieces of legislation did not work, they would just try something else until they found the right way to solve their particular situation. My next question is, what did Hoover do to try to end the Depression? Hoover didn't really try. He stalled. And though businesses with the government would solve the issue. So he put together partnerships with public works communities and private construction businesses and built the Hoover Dam. But the economy wasn't working that much. It was very bad at the time. So he didn't really do much. He actually wasn't known for raising taxes, but he raised them when industries were falling from 25% to 35%. The last thing a depression needs. So Hoover, in a sense, made it worse. So my next question is, how could the Great Depression been prevented? The people were oblivious to the fact that during 1929, the prices of the stocks were decreasing and that they were losing money. All the signs were there, but they decided to ignore it and continue investing. When the stock market crashed on October 29th, 1929, as known as Black Tuesday, almost everyone in the country of large amounts lost a lot of money, boatloads. The wealthiest people soon became the poorest. The country was chaos, and the banks panicked. Something I learned from this project was that Herbert Hoover tried to help end the Depression, but he was just stalling. Another thing I learned was that the Great Depression could have been prevented if only the people during the time would have believed that the prices of the stocks were decreasing. Then suddenly led to everyone losing money. Even the upper class had to become a group that become one of the poorest groups. From what I learned, how can I apply to my own life? Say you had saved your life savings in a local bank like Chase, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, or Citibank. You could almost be sure that after the crash, almost all of it would be gone. Had the banks not been allowed to gamble with your money, the Great Depression would have had much less of an impact on the citizens of the United States. Thankfully, we learned our lesson, the United States, and the banks no longer had the right to spend your own money. Thank you.